What's up, Christ community? Pastor Dan just started a 3-week sabbatical, so you are hearing from me instead. If you don't know me, my name is Pastor Nick, and I am the youth pastor here at Christ Community. I have to say, Pastor Dan picked a great time to take off and leave this to me, but what can you do, right? Life happens. I wanted to take a few moments to both inform and challenge you with a few things in light of our governor's recent announcement on making masks mandatory starting next week on Monday, July 27th. After several conversations with Pastor Dan, District Superintendent Tim Crump, and our staff, the consensus is that in-house worship services in churches are expected to comply with the mask mandate. Although the board recently approved a policy to encourage mask wearing but not mandate it, the state's mandate makes that policy null and void, placing our church leadership in a somewhat challenging situation. I say challenging because over the past few weeks it has come to the staff's attention via conversations, emails, and text messages that there are many people on both sides of what has unfortunately become a divisive issue: the wearing or not wearing of masks. There are those who have stated that they will only return to church if masks are mandated, while others have shared that they will not be at church if they are. While it is the state and not our church doing the mandating, the reality is that if we have in-person services, we will comply with the governor's mask mandate. It is hard to imagine something as simple as wearing a mask being so divisive, but the reality is that that is where many of us have landed. This makes any decision church leadership makes a difficult one, as we know that this has become a sensitive issue, and regardless of whatever decision is made, someone is going to be unhappy. So I want to challenge you with a few things and then give you a few simple instructions. First and foremost, we need to pray. And we need to pray with a heart and mind that is humble and willing to be led by God. Not by our opinions or political leanings, but by His Spirit. Second, I believe alongside prayer, we need to keep some things in perspective. That we can make certain issues in our world today sin issues when they aren't. There are certainly issues in our world today where God's word clearly points us towards something that is righteous versus sinful. I don't know how much we can say wearing a mask or not wearing a mask is or is not committing sin. Now, I'm not here to argue or debate that either way, but what I want us to do is to avoid demonizing or judging someone if they're on the opposite side of this issue than you. That will lead to sinful attitudes and further division in the church. Perhaps it was issues like this that Paul would have been referring to when he wrote in Titus 3:9, "But avoid foolish controversies and genealogies and arguments and quarrels about the law, because these are unprofitable and useless." It's something to think about. I say this to say, love one another. Not love one another only if they agree with you, but love one another regardless. Take the time to understand where someone might be coming from. It doesn't mean you're going to agree in the end, but it leads to cooler heads and healthier hearts. Don't assume the worst in someone. You just never know what experiences they've had or where they're coming from. If we do lay those judgments on others, we're in danger of pride and elevating ourselves above others. None of us is perfect, and humility goes a long way. All right, the sermon is over. Now to the nitty-gritty. As part of the decision-making for our church going forward, the staff has put together a short 3-question survey that we're going to be sending out today to gauge where you, the Christ Community Church family, is at in regards to attending in-house services in compliance with the state mask mandate. You should be receiving those via email or the app, and please do not do more than one. So if you fill one out on the app, you can ignore the one via email and vice versa. If you get the chance to fill that survey out in the next few days, that would be greatly appreciated. We plan on compiling the results of the survey on Monday and presenting those results to your church board, in which the board will then make a decision on how our church will proceed in the coming weeks. As I close this out, I want to remind us how important it is in the midst of this to practice grace. Showing grace with whatever decision our leadership comes to. It is not easy to be a leader, especially when difficult decisions like this need to be made. Pastor Dan has preached a lot on grace the past few months, and this is the perfect opportunity to apply it. You may be okay with the decision that is made. It's easy to be gracious when things go your way. But if you're not okay with the decision that is made, I challenge and encourage you to put grace into action. Be an understanding of the difficult decision that needed to be made, even if it doesn't end up the way that you would like it. On behalf of the staff here at Christ Community, I just want to say thank you to you, our church family. You've been hanging in there with us for some time, and we know it has not been easy to navigate through these waters. You've been faithful in engaging via live stream and attending in person once we opened up. You've been faithful and supportive in giving in the midst of everything, and I can say that not every church on our district has been blessed in that way. So thank you for hanging in there. We hope you can hang in there with us a little while longer. And again, please, please be in prayer for our church, our leadership, and our country, that God will continue to work in and through those who remain obedient and faithful to him. We love you, and we're praying for you. We'll be sending you an update on the decision the board makes early next week. Be sure to complete that survey when you get it. We'd appreciate it. Thank you, and have a blessed day.